In today's video, I'm going to show you how to plan unplanned tasks in Notion. So let's say you have tasks that don't have a date assigned to them and they aren't complete. You want to see these tasks right next to your planned tasks like I have here so that you can just drag them directly onto the calendar. I'm going to show you how to go about that. Right here, I'm just using my productive brain template. If you want access to this template, you guys can get that using the link in the description. And I'm also going to be including a discount code in the description as well. So make sure you take advantage of that while it's still there. If it's gone, it's because it's expired. But definitely take advantage of it if you're seeing this video when it first comes out. All right, now let's jump into this. You are going to need a calendar like this. That's a prerequisite, a calendar view. To create this calendar view, you're going to need two things. One, you're going to need at minimum the name and a date. Okay, these are the two columns you will need. So I'll show you how to create a database like this really quick. We'll just call it items, and these are like your tasks. You could have a task and you could have a date. And if you have a task and a date, you can then go in to these three dots right here, go to layout, and you can change to the calendar layout. And that's going to give you a calendar layout somewhat like this. Now, like I said, I've gone through and I've built this out into my template. So if you guys want access to this as it stands and you want to just start from there, by all means, definitely get the template and then pick up where we're leaving off. But that's just quickly how you can create a calendar. Now I'm going to delete this, and I'm actually just going to be using my tasks database, which is linked up with this calendar in this video. So to create an unplanned tasks database where you can drag those unplanned tasks directly into this calendar, what you're going to do is, first of all, just for aesthetic purposes, I'm going to create a call out. This is a hallmark of all of my systems. I use these call outs to basically make everything look a little bit nicer and a little bit more organized. So this section here is called planned or plan, and I'm going to now create a section with the blue icon color of unplanned. So unplanned, we'll just go with this X here, and I'm just going to type in unplanned. Underneath that unplanned, I'm just going to drag in a linked view of a database. To do this, I'm going to hit /, type in linked, and I'm going to click on this linked view of database. I'm going to select tasks. And now I'm going to see all of my tasks populating in. Now, all of these tasks that have come in here, some of them are archived, some of them are complete, some of them are incomplete. I'm just going to go ahead and hide this database title. And I'm going to now hit filter. And what you want to do is, you probably aren't going to see all these unless you are using the productive brain. And if you are, that's great. You can follow right along. But what you want to do is you basically just want to filter out things that don't have a date. So my calendar uses action date. So I'm going to click filter action date, and I'm just going to say action date is empty. Okay, and I'm also going to add a filter where the status is not complete. So status is to do or snoozed. And I'm going to hit save for everyone. Now, I don't have anything in here because everything in my system has been completed. But let's say I add a new task with my quick capture button right here. And this one here is incomplete and it doesn't have an action date. Therefore, it's going to show up here. I'm just going to hide all of these other items because it obviously doesn't have an action date. If it's not in here, it might have a due date. I'll go ahead and hide the subtasks, parent task. But once I've hit everything, I can keep the meeting link in there if I wanted to. I'll actually hide that because that comes from Google Calendar, which I talk about in my other video with the Google Calendar integration. You should check that out if you're interested. Basically, I'm just going to get it down to status, which is telling me what the status of the task is, focus, which is telling me what the priority level of the task is, and due date. The due date, you don't necessarily need a due date to have it on the calendar. The due date and the action date are two separate things. This calendar runs on action dates, the day I'm actually going to work on something. And I talk more about this in the installation guide of this template. But basically, if I wanted to drag this task into the calendar, Now I can just drag it very simply to one of these days. And we can change this from incomplete to complete if we want to. I can change the focus to pry1, or I can change it to pry2. I can go in and really change anything about this task that I want. But the point is that every time I have a new unplanned task, meaning it doesn't have an action date, it will show up in here. So let's just make this so that it doesn't have an action date really quick. I'll just hit clear. It's going to be right back in this unplanned. Now, yes, you can keep the property of action date in here if you want to, just by going to properties and making it visible. And then you can change it manually here. But I actually prefer just simply dragging this item into the day that I want it to be on. That's what I like better. So it's totally up to you how you want to do that. But this is a very basic idea of how I would set up unplanned with my productive brain template, or with any sort of like calendar interface that you're using in Notion, where you can just drag something from one of your task databases to the other task database. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.